The Penguin is halfway into its season. We have watched all 4 episodes. We're gonna give you our semi-quick review, I guess. And I'm just gonna say this show is phenomenal. It's brilliant. It's like it is a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. Not that I didn't think it was gonna be great, but like I was like, maybe this will be a little palate cleanse until we get the Batman Part 2. No, this is like a certified banger.
You know what
so
sucks?
Far. What
sucks
man?
is if you look at the Penguin on IMDb, it says TV miniseries.
So they think it's limited to 1 season.
Let me tell you something. I can't do just 1 season. I'm sorry. Like
Colin Farrell
as the Penguin is way too good.
He said he didn't want to get back in that suit anymore, though. Which, when I heard that, I low-key collapsed in the middle of a 7-Eleven.
I mean, that sounds all good, but you put enough zeros on that.
Zeros on that check, I'm telling you.
There's some actors you'll mess around and see Colin Farrell actually gain weight for the Penguin. But yeah, I mean, halfway through, it's great. Like it's great. I mean, the honesty is like I truly do not think like Colin Farrell can fail as the Penguin. Like, I don't think like he's so good that a lot of the time you just forget that it's even him. Like, you just forget
That's
that
very
it's even
true.
him.
His character's super transportive.
Dude, there's a lot of times where it's just like, I'm not watching The Sopranos. Oh, I'm not watching The Godfather. Oh, like it's sometimes.
No, there's sometimes where I'm like, oh, that's not even what the actor looks like.
But
Damn.
the best part for me about it is that it completely feels in character for the Penguin. It doesn't feel like they're just making a Sopranos just a mob show just with a character that they're calling the Penguin. Like, it all feels rooted into the character of the Penguin, and what they do with this character so far, like through this season, like with his motivations and like, his family, what family means in this show, honestly, as a whole, and like how they better illustrate Gotham and just how it works, like generally. I think a lot of times, like with Batman universes and stuff, there won't be a clear picture of like how that's formulated. But I will say the show's missing some faces that feel like at points you can feel like where is
no
Jim Gordon?
One's even made a single reference to a vigilante once.
I mean, there's just some points.
That's probably some right stuff, though. To be honest,
I will say the Gotham doesn't feel akin to the Gotham that we saw in the Batman. It's close, but it doesn't. It doesn't give me nearly that same vibe, because I think immersive. A lot of the I think that's what a lot works for the Batman.
Yeah, it's super atmospheric.
When you're like just into the immersiveness of everything being painted out. I think the show kind of misses that. But even with that, the writing in the show is like, it's really strong. The episodes are like paced pretty well for the most part, and I think like the show keeps you on your toes in a good way. It doesn't feel like it's just like leaving you out to dry, like constantly leaving you like hanging. It feels like it's purposeful, but with conclusions still happening. Overall, like halfway into the season, I think it's great. If we could get some even better episodes than like some of my favorite episodes so far halfway into this, I mean, this could be a show that like I really end up loving. And like,
what would you rate it so far out of like?
I mean,
5 mid-season.
Out of a 5
mid-season,
I would give it a 4. I would give it a 4.
Solid.
Yeah, I would give it a 4 out of 5. But there are points in this show where I'm like, dang, that's a 4.5 out of 5. Like, there's points in the show that are really good. I think the characters in the show are really good. I think the overall aspect of, it being in the Batman universe and the Falcons and just the names and
Mm-hmm.
where everything is at the time. And I think there's some good stuff as far as that goes, the world building of the universe and stuff goes. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if like in the Batman 2 they make Penguin like a bigger part, because like I'm really liking what the show is giving me. And I think
And
if
I really
enough
wanted him
people
to be a bigger
watch.
part in the Batman. I really did. He was like,
No, 100%.
he was so
I think
entertaining.
I think you're getting to a point where like if enough people watch this and it's rated pretty highly, like everybody is loving this show. I think you get to a point where like, yeah, maybe he becomes a bigger factor in the Batman, because as of right now, he's my favorite character in this universe. Like for halfway into the
Yeah,
season,
it's
the
not crazy
Penguin,
to
I'm
say.
locked in. I'm locked in, man.
Yeah, I got to agree. I mean, this is, obviously getting my negatives out the way. Yeah, the Gotham isn't quite there. It's not quite as atmospheric. And this is obviously more about Penguin, the character, and kind of these families going at it rather than, the city of Gotham, even though, it's just as corrupt as you want it to be. Love the supporting cast in this show so far. I think they are crushing it. Like, I think, I forget her name, but the woman playing Sophia Falcone is amazing. And episode 4, she absolutely just crushes it. And then
I think episode 4 did. Episodes 3 and 4 for me really did. They did a lot for this show. I mean, the first 2 episodes were already like really really good, but 3 and 4 just did some things as far as like world building and like fleshing out.
Yeah, I think they really
the
make
world,
Gotham,
how it's
or
like.
not Gotham, but the Arkham just feels so.
They just paint a very clear
is
picture
what I'm
of
gonna
how
use.
shitty Gotham is. Like they
Yeah.
really paint the picture pretty clear, and I really like. That's what I'm like really starting to take away from this. Barring the, the whole Penguin storyline and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think does it have that Greg Fraser like level of visuals? No, I think like where this show is lacking is super minute in comparison to the strengths.
Mm-hmm.
I think the writing is phenomenal. The pacing, I remember watching the second episode and being like, oh my goodness, it's done. Like that was an hour. Like wow. And obviously it goes without saying, performances across the board great. The music, pretty great, not gonna lie. Especially in that last episode that we saw in the fourth episode. The music was great. I think it's just delivering what what it advertised, the rise of Oz. But in the midst of it, you're really conflicted with obviously his relationship with Vic and Sophia, and it's really got you on your toes constantly. You're cheering for Oz. You're actually cheering for Vic. And you actually are starting to cheer for Oz and Sophia because they start doing things together. But then you're cheering for Sophia more than anyone else. And it's just...
I like it.
I really do. It really makes you
kind of... You're not really treating them as anti-heroes. You're just giving us different perspectives of these
They
villains.
feel three-dimensional, like really. And I really appreciate that. And I think I'm really interested to see where this goes. I know who was it? It wasn't Matt Reeves. I think it was Colin Farrell that was like you won't like Vic by the end of the season. And I'm like, okay, where are we going? Like, is Vic gonna do? Is he?
I like that it's not clear.
Sophia? I feel like he might kill Sophia.
I like that we can't.
Like,
that
or what if he kills Oz? What if he kills the Penguin and that's...
See, this is what I mean. I like how it's not clear. I like that it's like...
Yeah, it makes you want to watch the next.
Colin Farrell straight up told us, you're not going to like Vic, and we still don't even know. Like, that's when you know the show is doing what it's got to be doing. But, I mean, I like that the show still has, like, this epic feel. So it still feels epic.
Yeah, it really feels high stakes.
In the vein of the Batman.
Like,
where the Batman
if Oz
is still grounded,
loses, it feels like... he's done.
Yeah.
Like it feels like he could potentially
Careful
die.
with every single word.
Yeah, and
Like,
feels like Vic has obviously came from some rough patches. The Riddler's even dumber than we thought.
oh,
Jesus.
the Riddler is so stupid. I
The
already
R-
did not like him in the Batman. They just like, they iced the cake for me. The Riddler sucks.
No, he did some. He definitely did not think it completely through. And then obviously Sophia. I mean, she's kind of the competent child of Carmine, and like you kind of want to see her kind of succeed. You know, there's a feeling there where it's like kind of want her to prove her own family that she was the one that should have had it from the jump. And I think it's just it like we said, keeps you on your toes. It's so tense, thrilling, but also it could be funny. The dialogue
is really good.
Like it is. These conversations are like amazing in here.
They're like they're so like you get so like into the conversations, and what they're saying feels so important, and it just feels like every single word like means the world.
Man, that fourth episode, the end when Oz is like me, like who would have thought? Like I'm like, dang man, I'm like, you low-key got me feeling stuff for you. Hold on, wait. Like what am I watching? And I really
like that.
appreciate
I like that Oz in this show. He has a way with words in this show. Like, and I like that because volumes. It's like
that dinner scene with Vic, and was it in episode 3?
So it feels more legitimate when you see Oz and what he feels does,
actually fleshed out. He feels like a real 3-dimensional character.
Things like that, things like everything that he's saying, you know, things like making those dialogues, you know, as good as they are. It just legitimizes like the world, and like Oz doesn't feel like, oh, he just came up as the Penguin. Oh, he's just the Penguin. Like there's just so much more. Like honestly, give me season 2 already.
Yeah, I think one thing I was kind of apprehensive about leading into this was a big thing I really appreciated from the Batman, or rather him in the Batman, was he was kind of goofy. He had a little goofball to him, just a little bit, nothing crazy, but
it's
just
the
like
perfect amount.
And it stayed, and I was so glad that them being influenced by The Sopranos didn't sacrifice that. He used to, I mean, the Watto's a bit OD. I'm not even gonna, the Watto got a bit strong in this show, but I don't mind it. The Watto's funny.
It
sometimes
still feels natural.
He'll do a quick comeback that just makes you chuckle, and he still has that goofballness to him where like he's fully there, but there's some levity there, and not everything is this extremely dark and like super broody show. Like there's some lightness to Oz, and I like that it gives him more of a surface. It's not like super, one note or anything like that. It really gives him stuff that you can build upon, and it adds sincerity to him that makes you not necessarily resonate, but you appreciate the character more. You kind of root for him a lot easier than if he was just this like maniacal, like only bad person.
Yeah. 100%.
And I'm so glad they kept that, because I was so worried that they wouldn't. Everything about this show like exceeded my expectations. Not that they were low, but like, man, like they're hitting it. I would give it a 4-2. I think it's, that's a safe spot until we see the obviously the rest of the season. But that's what I would give it as well.
It's pretty solid right now.
Yeah, tell us obviously what you guys would give the show out of 5, out of 10, anything. What are your favorite moments, your favorite elements from this show? If you made it this far, please hit the like button, subscribe, click the bell, all that jazz. Helps out the channel a ton, and like always, we love discussing with you guys. So go ahead and let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.